It's time for Rabbi Minkowicz's weekly Torah lesson. Here with his spiritual perspective and insight, Rabbi Minkowicz.
Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parsha Tzav. The question of the week is, how can we make sure that our Torah study will endure? So in this week's Torah portion, it deals with the sacrifices in the temple, but it also tells us about the fire that's to be kindled on the menorah. And the Torah tells us the fire that's burning on the menorah should always be lit. And where does the fire from the menorah come from? The Torah tells us the fire from the menorah comes from the altar. Now we know in the temple there was two types of altars. There was the outer altar where the sacrifices were brought, and then there's the inner altar where the incense was brought. The menorah was also in the inside part of the temple together with the shulchan, the showbread. So you would think that if you were lighting the menorah, and the menorah had to always be lit, and you want to get fire, you should get from the incense altar. But nevertheless, you see the Torah wants us to get the fire from where? From the outer altar. And the question is, why is that? So the Rebbe explains that the menorah spiritually resembles Torah study. Because when a person studies Torah, he brings light into his life. Now, when a person wants to light the menorah, where do you have to get it from? You have to get it from the outer altar. What does the outer altar resemble? The outer altar resembles mitzvot. So you see on a spiritual level, the Torah is teaching us that even though the menorah resembles Torah, and we know there's nothing greater than Torah study, because when a person studies Torah, you're one with God. And there's no confrontation with worldly ideas. When a person sits and studies Torah, he's totally disconnected from the world, and he's totally connected with God on the highest level. On the other hand, when a person does mitzvot, we know mitzvot are all with physical things in this world. We elevate the physical world. So seemingly, Torah is much higher on a certain level. Nevertheless, the Torah says, when you want to light the menorah, you have to get it from the outer altar, which resembles the mitzvot. And Rebbe explains why is that. Because what happens is when a person sits down to study Torah, it's a great thing. And you get on a spiritual high. You're studying Torah, you're one with God, and you feel great, and your soul feels great. Life is wonderful. You're totally disconnected. So God wants us to always remember that even though Torah is great, and it's very powerful, and you can connect to God, and gets you out of trouble, and it keeps you in a very, very godly place, but nevertheless, a person has to always remember that the source of the light for the menorah, which is Torah study, comes from the outer altar, which resembles the idea of mitzvot. It means a person has to always remember, even as much as you want to study Torah, and you should study Torah, and you should study a lot of Torah, always remember to always continue doing mitzvot, because you need the blend of the two, of the Torah study and doing the mitzvot. So to answer the question, how can you make sure your Torah will endure? To make sure that to always continue doing mitzvot, as much and as great as Torah study is, mitzvot are extremely important, and that will keep your Torah study lasting forever. Thanks so much for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. This week's Torah lesson is dedicated to the memory of Baruch ben Ari Leib and Shlomo ben Yosef. May their souls be elevated by the Torah that we're studying in their memory. For more information about Chabad, please see our website.